Today's show is sponsored by the Electric Vehicle Association. Join up to support the electrification of transport and get the help you need to finance your own EV or clean energy future. And by the 10th annual Tesla raffle from Chicago. Head to the link below and use the code TransportEvolved to get $25 off 2 tickets. And by Energy Sage. Visit the link in the description to find local verified solar experts, community projects and heat pump specialists in your area. And if you've been waiting to get tickets for this year's Everything Electric in Vancouver, Canada in 2 weeks' time, stick around until the end of the show to find out how you can support the channel and get 20% off your tickets. Welcome back to another episode of TEN, Transport Evolved News. Thanks for joining me. Before we get going today, a quick correction from last week's show about Waymo's honking cars. I said it was happening in LA instead of San Francisco, which of course was incorrect. I'm sorry for the mistake and will continue to work hard to spot our faux pas before they go live. And thanks to those of you who kindly noted the mistake. Nearly 2 years after its European market debut, Volkswagen has officially confirmed specs and pricing for the North American launch of the Volkswagen ID Buzz. Unlike Europe, where it's available in both short and long wheelbase versions, the North American market will get only the long wheelbase version, with a total of 3 different trim levels available at launch. At the entry-level end, with rear-wheel drive and seating for 7, is the ID Buzz Pro S, with an MSRP of just shy of $60,000 and an EPA range of 234 miles or 377 kilometers from a 91 kilowatt-hour usable battery pack. Adding all-wheel drive reduces range and increases price, and the most expensive variant tops the scales at nearly $70,000. That's not exactly in the spirit of the original Volkswagen bus, unfortunately. The US National Transportation Safety Board has officially opened an investigation into a Tesla Semi which crashed and caught fire early on Monday morning, closing an interstate for nearly 16 hours. According to the reports, the truck was being driven along Interstate I-80 in California near the border with Nevada when it lost control and crashed into the trees around 3 a.m. local time. While the cause of the collision is not yet known, the impact caused the Tesla Semi's battery pack to ignite. It was not towing a trailer at the time of the incident. Police are investigating the cause, and as of the time of writing and filming, we don't have an official statement yet from Tesla. While it's fair to note that diesel big rig fires are far more common, not mentioning it in this week's show would have drawn as much ire as covering it, and since we cover news in the industry, this felt like an appropriate story to include. When we know more, we will of course share. Fear of battery fires involving EVs and hybrid vehicles has led Zurich Insurance Group, one of the largest property and casualty insurance providers for auto dealers, to issue new guidelines pertaining to risk mitigation. Midweek, it published a loss prevention bulletin for customers that calls for dealerships who sell and service EVs to make additional steps, including isolating stalls for technicians to work in when servicing EVs, separated by a fire barrier with a 1-hour rating. It also expects dealerships to use same-day shipping to send old and defective battery packs removed from vehicles back to the manufacturer, and it says that batteries, even new ones, should be stored away from a dealership's primary facilities. There are other recommendations too from the list. It's clear that Zurich is hinting that if dealers don't follow its guidelines, prices for coverage might start going up a lot. As the US presidential election nears ever closer, we're seeing Republicans lean into FUD about EVs, talking on old stereotypes and downright lies about everything from safety to range and charging infrastructure. One piece of FUD doing the rounds right now is the claim that President Joe Biden's administration has spent $9 billion to build just 8 electric vehicle charging stations, and thus it would then cost $10 trillion to build EV charging nationwide. That is patently false, but the FUD seems to stem from the news coverage earlier this year that noted that while the White House had earmarked $7.5 billion for EV charging, only a handful of stations had been commissioned from those funds to date. However, as we have previously noted, the slow rollout of government funding for charging has been caused by red tape, often from unsupportive local or state governments. As is usually the case, context is queen. Having worked through its order list of people willing to buy more expensive Cybertruck variants, those with the money can now order and buy a Tesla Cybertruck with little to no wait. And that's having a dramatic effect on used Tesla Cybertruck prices, with used Tesla Cybertrucks finally dropping out of the realm of ridiculously expensive to around the same kind of price as a brand new one. Not only does it mean that those looking for a Cybertruck are more likely to buy new than used, but it also ends the need of Tesla to heavily penalise customers who are trying to flip their trucks for profit, and thus Tesla has removed the no resale clause from its purchase contract for new Cybertruck owners. And while there's still some discussion as if Tesla has officially removed its most affordable Cybertruck from sale indefinitely or not, you're still going to need about 100 grand to buy one, new or in fact used. An official investigation into the safety of robotaxis operated by GM's autonomous vehicle subsidiary Cruise has come to an end, nearly 2 years after it began. In December 2022, NHTSA opened an investigation into Cruise robotaxis after 3 rear-end collisions involving its vehicles led to 2 different injuries, and its official closing of the investigation has led to Cruise agreeing with the agency to issue a recall of nearly 1,200 Cruise robotaxis to address hard braking. Cruise has stated in a statement that it doesn't agree with NHTSA's request for a recall, but agreed to the recall to close the investigation. A separate investigation involving NHTSA into accidents with pedestrians is still ongoing. Earlier this year, Cruise confirmed it would be killing the Ultium-based Origin robotaxi and instead focus on producing a robotaxi based on the upcoming next-generation Chevrolet Bolt EV. Can-Am officially unveiled its first foray into the world of electric motorcycles this week with the production version of the Can-Am Pulse and Can-Am Origin. We originally first saw the bikes a while back as prototypes, but now we know official pricing and specs, with the city-centric Can-Am Pulse offering 4 different riding modes and a range of up to 160 kilometres or 100 miles from its 8.9 kilowatt-hour battery pack. The more adventure-styled Can-Am Origin uses the same drivetrain and battery pack as its sibling, but manages 145 kilometres or 90 miles of range, meaning it's better suited to trial riding than long-distance travel. Price-wise, the Pulse and Origin start from just under $14,000 and $14,500 respectively. Not everyone likes the specs, but they look like great commuter bikes. I'd love to put them through their paces, so Can-Am, let's talk. For a while now, we've been expecting a 3-row, full-size electric SUV from Ford, likely based on the tech inside the F-150 Lightning, but this week, Ford confirmed once and for all that it's dead. It's all part of a revised electric vehicle plan from the brand that will see Ford keep its current electric vehicles in production, but delay the introduction of its promised mid-size electric truck, codenamed T3, until the second half of 2027, 18 months after Ford's originally planned debut of the same. It will now launch that model at the same time as a brand new full-size electric pickup truck. While Ford confirmed that it plans on continuing its Skunk Works development program to design and build new, lower-cost EVs, it's also expected to launch a new commercial van in a few years and increase its hybrid portfolio. It stated that it has multiple hybrid drivetrains currently in development. As the US presidential election draws near, we're starting to see significant worry boil as automakers like Ford and others trying to hedge their bets about the future. The biggest concern right now, as reported by Automotive News, is the prospect that current generous US federal tax incentives being offered to the auto industry, both in terms of customer purchase rebates and packages, also designed to encourage domestic manufacturing of EVs, will be gutted if former President Donald Trump regains a place in the White House. While candidate Trump has flip-flopped on EVs of late following an endorsement by Elon Musk, he has continued to bash the effectiveness of EVs on the campaign trail, and this week confirmed that he is in favour of repealing all incentives for EVs. And while this is a US story, the impacts of such a change would reverberate around the world, as most automakers design their vehicles for multiple markets. This means that it could be bad news for everyone. But as former President Obama said this week at the DNC, don't boo, vote. And finally for the segment, for a really long time, Tesla has dominated the EV sales market around the world, often selling more vehicles per month than its rivals combined in some markets. But new data from Europe shows that for the first time last month, while the Tesla Model Y remained at the top of the EV sales charts for individual models, selling 9,544 vehicles in July, down 16% year over year, the BMW brand sold 14,869 battery electric vehicles, That compares to Tesla's 14,561, Volkswagen's 12,213, and other brands below it. BMW's iX1, a model not sold in the US or Canada, was BMW's most popular model, followed quickly by the BMW i4 and BMW i5. Tesla's lead still exists if we consider year-to-date sales, but as with other markets, it's losing market share to rival brands. Our short shorts are coming in a second, but first a word from the 10th annual Tesla raffle from Zurich Chicago, where you can get the chance to win your choice of any of Tesla's currently in production passenger vehicles. That's a Tesla Model S, 3, X, Y or Cybertruck, or $50,000 in cash for those who'd rather spend their prize funds on a different EV or perhaps something else entirely. Zurich Chicago is a non-profit that focuses on empowering individuals and families in need towards self-sufficiency, utilising a wide range of different services ranging from free food, furniture and clothing to assistance navigating governmental programs and finding new employment, among many more services. For your chance to win the Tesla of your choice, head to ccraffle.com, where you can use the code TRANSPORTEVOLVED to get $25 off 2 tickets or $500 off 15 tickets. There are only 9,999 tickets available. When they're sold, they're sold. And with the draw taking place on September 9th, you need to get your tickets today. And now it's time for short shorts. Following on from last week's Cadillac Lyriq recall, Acura has announced a recall for its ZDX EV, which shares a common platform with the Lyriq for the very same reason, an issue with oversensitive ABS. An over-the-air update is being prepared to resolve the issue. Tesla has officially recalled just over 9,000 Tesla Model X SUVs from 2016 to address a potential defect with the roof trim piece that could cause them to separate when being driven. The cars were already recalled 4 years ago, but the original recall hasn't fixed the problem sufficiently enough. The Fisker Ocean has been recalled again, this time to address a fault with affected cars' regenerative braking systems that could lead to reduced regenerative braking when slowing down over bumps. One injury has been reported thus far, and an OTA is being planned. The US's Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, aka FERC, has just released its latest monthly energy infrastructure update, during which it confirmed that renewable energy generation in the US now makes up 30% of all power generation capacity. Well done. While Volkswagen confirmed many months ago it was shelving plans to make an electric campervan based on the ID Buzz, a US company called Peace Vans has just announced its own retrofit conversion of ID Buzzes. Pricing depends on customer specifications. XPeng has officially published its second quarter financials, showing an increase in revenue to 8.1 billion yuan and a noticeable decrease in losses year over year. Last year, its second quarter losses were 2.8 billion yuan, and this year it's just 1.28 billion yuan. German newspaper Handelsblatt is claiming that electric vertical takeoff and landing specialist Lilium is looking to leave the country and establish its headquarters elsewhere. Lilium is reportedly unhappy with the lack of support it's getting from German authorities. As part of its goal of electrifying the royal fleet, the royal family is expected to give the blessing for the installation of 27 EV charging stations at Buckingham Palace, as well as at other royal households across the UK. King Charles III already drives an EV. The European Union Commission has presented its draft for the final proposed tariffs on imported electric vehicles from China, and in doing so has lowered rates slightly for impacted automakers. Tesla gets the best deal with a 19% import duty on Chinese-made Teslas. Polestar has officially begun deliveries of the Polestar 4 SUV coupe in Europe. Deliveries of Chinese-made Polestar 4s began earlier this year in China, and the first European market Polestar 4s are delivered to customers in Germany, Norway and Sweden. Other markets will follow. Utah has become the first state outside of California and Nevada to become home to a Tesla semi-megacharger. The new charging station has been commissioned in Utah just off Interstate 80 west of Salt Lake City. It suggests a new Tesla semi-route may soon be opening. Sticking with Tesla, it's just pushed the promised FSD Supervised 12.5 update for Teslas fitted with older Hardware 3 computers. The software already pushed to cars fitted with more powerful Hardware 4 computers, and the two systems should now behave similarly. At Monterey Car Week this week, Acura confirmed that it's working to bring a new all-electric sports car to market that will be similar to the NSX. Based on the Honda Zero Series concepts, we'll likely see it break cover as a production vehicle in the next 3 or 4 years. When Rivian first launched the R1T, it offers a special camp kitchen that folded away into the truck's gear tunnel but quickly discontinued it. Now it's launched a new foldable travel kitchen that folds up into a small case-side space and can be stored in the gear tunnel. Tesla has officially launched a $700 cooler that's designed to fit into the frunk of a Tesla Cybertruck. It fits snugly inside the Cybertruck's frunk area and says Tesla can keep things cool for days. But it's not actually a powered cooler, which seems a bit strange. Talking with CarBuzz, Lucid's Senior VP of Design, Derek Jenkins, spilled the beans on Lucid's new mid-size program, confirming that it plans on producing at least 3 new affordable EVs that will cross-shop against Tesla's current EV lineup. GMC has officially begun deliveries of its Sierra EV Denali Edition 1. Based on the same Ultium platform as the Hummer EV and Chevrolet Silverado EV, it has all of the bells and whistles of the Hummer EV, including that very high-end price tag. Rivian has been given permission by the Town Council of Normal, Illinois, to expand its production facility there. The expansion is essential for Rivian in order to expand its existing R1 production line while also expanding to bring its new R2 SUV to market. The expansion process will start soon. Tesla's head of autopilot software confirmed yesterday that the Tesla Cybertruck is expected to get automatic parking assistance in the coming few days via an over-the-air software update, with FSD due to roll out to customers' trucks in the coming month. A former top designer from the Volkswagen Group, Philipp Romas, has begun a new job as head of luxury EV design at Polestar. He previously worked on designing the Mark 7 Volkswagen Golf as well as the Audi e-tron GT. The US Department of Defense has announced it's allocated $20 million to Electra Battery Materials Corporation to secure a localized supply chain for US automakers. The company, based in Ontario, Canada, specializes in cobalt production. Rivian's former head of manufacturing, Tim Fallon, has left the company in order to start a new job at Stellantis. There, he will work on helping Jeep and Dodge bring their new electric vehicles to market. Before his time at Rivian, he worked for Nissan for 16 years. If you're in Canada, you might be pleased to know that Lucid's financial services arm has just announced a new selection of lease options for Canadian buyers looking to get behind the wheel of a Lucid Air Sedan. Canada is the third country to offer Lucid Air leasing deals. Having been unceremoniously fired by Elon Musk earlier this year, along with pretty much all of her team at Tesla's charging division, Tesla's former head of charging, Rebecca Tinucci, has begun a new role at Uber, where she will lead the company's electrification efforts. Rivian has temporarily paused production of its all-electric delivery van, otherwise known as the Amazon Delivery Vehicle, due to a parts shortage. While the parts shortage will temporarily halt EDV production, R1T and R1S production will not be affected. General Motors, which ditched Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible head units in EVs in favour of its own in-house Google-derived solution, has just laid off 1,000 employees working on its software program. It's believed the layoffs were part of a restructuring attempt. Honda has just celebrated entering its 40th year of ATV production at its facilities in North Carolina, and as part of those celebrations has announced its intent to turn its ATV and UTV business electric. Many of its rivals, including Polaris, have already begun that switch. Rimac has unveiled its latest hypercar in the form of an even more powerful variant of the Navara EV, with a sprint time of 1.74 seconds and only 40 examples scheduled for production. If you want one and you need to know the price, you can't afford it. Swedish battery specialist Northvolt has announced that it will shut down its US Research and Development Centre in California and instead move all future R&D to its headquarters in Sweden. It's been working on a new lithium metal battery at its Californian campus. Toyota surprised everyone this week by filing a new patent for in-wheel motors, suggesting that while some companies are moving away from the tech, Toyota is still working on developing it for future hybrids, battery electric and hydrogen fuel cell vehicles. Sticking with patents, Ford has just patented a new roof rack technology that's designed to improve fuel economy for internal combustion engine vehicles and range for battery electric vehicles. It's a deployable roof rack that folds flat with a car's roof when not in use. As students head back to school in Oakland, California in the coming weeks, they're going to be travelling to school on the first 100% electric school bus fleet in the US. As confirmed by Zum this week, the V2G-capable fleet is ready for the new school year. The United Auto Workers has filed federal labour charges against both Tesla CEO Elon Musk and former President Donald Trump after they publicly discussed and encouraged firing of employees who wanted to unionise during a live stream on X a few weeks back. Karma Automotive, which, yes, is still around and selling vehicles, I actually went past its showroom in LA this week, used the Monterey Car Week to unveil 2 new models, the Karma Erva GT UV and Karma Cavea Super Coupe. The firm says it plans to bring both to market. Sticking with concepts, Cadillac also used the Monterey Car Week to unveil a new car, the opulent Velocity Concept. It's another high-end, ultra-luxurious concept EV, and I'm going to politely suggest it's one we're not going to see into production anytime soon, if indeed ever. Mitchell International, which works with the auto insurance and collision repair industry, claims that its latest report that, based on second quarter data, EVs cost 20% more to repair after an accident on average than a comparable ICE vehicle. Let us know if you'd like us to dig deeper with this one. While the EU Commission may have just published its final draft for EV import tariffs, Volkswagen has come out swinging against lawmakers, calling the tariffs incomprehensible. It says the tariff now means that European automakers have higher tariffs than Chinese automakers do. And finally, for the shorts, we've long dreamt of a truly affordable EV with a brand new sticker price of under $25,000 US, but that's not going to happen anytime soon, says Edmunds. It's analysed prices of EVs in recent years and said we've got no chance of seeing a lower-priced EV unless we change our expectations on what a lower-priced EV will look and behave like. And those are your shorts. There will be more next week. Our final 2 stories are next, but first, a quick word from our longtime video sponsor, Energy Sage. Energy Sage helps homeowners connect with local, verified solar installers across the US and now heat pump specialists in select markets who really know their stuff and can help you navigate the process of installing solar panels, help you join a community solar program, or get a heat pump installed. I used Energy Sage when we were looking for installers willing to help us put solar panels on the roof of our home, and our Energy Sage verified installers were professional, knowledgeable, and even put us in touch with an amazing credit union that allowed us to finance our solar panels for as low a monthly payment as possible. Follow the links below to sign up for either of Energy Sage's free, no-obligation services and get that ball rolling today. If you choose to use an Energy Sage installer for your project, we will get a small referral fee, so you'll be helping the channel too. Help the grid get greener and save money and support the channel. It's a win-win-win. And now, it's time for those last 2 stories. Waymo, the self-driving autonomous vehicle subsidiary of Alphabet, has been working on self-driving robotaxis for a really long time and can trace its history back to the very first self-driving Toyota Prius hybrids developed by its team more than a decade ago. This week, it unveiled its 6th generation robotaxi, and in keeping with those before it, it's another plug-in vehicle. But unlike the plug-in Pacifica hybrid or the Jaguar I-Pace that followed it, Waymo's latest vehicle is designed and built in partnership with Chinese firm Zeekr. It features 13 cameras, 4 LiDAR sensors, 6 radars, and loads of external audio receivers, and Waymo says these new robotaxis, which are based on the Zeekr 009, can see up to 1/2 a kilometre away in a range of different weather conditions, regardless of the time of day. They're already operating in some cities, so let us know if you see one or end up riding in one. And finally, Tesla's Cybertruck has always had the air of a post-apocalyptic vehicle about it, and in fact that was one of the things that Tesla CEO Elon Musk heavily leaned into at its unveiling. But this week, Cybertruck got some dubious new credentials. First, over last weekend, Chechen warlord Ramazan Kadyrov, known for his human rights abuses and his connections to Vladimir Putin, posted an image of his latest toy, a Tesla Cybertruck which he claimed was given to him by Elon Musk, a truck which also now has a machine gun on it. And if that wasn't enough, the upfit arm of Tesla's specialist Unplugged Performance unveiled a new retrofit option in collaboration with Archimedes Defense that turns a Tesla Cybertruck into an actual, factual, quote, apocalypse ready, go anywhere, end quote, armoured truck. Ostensibly, it'll be available to law enforcement, military, and yes, even civilians with enough money. And based off of that, I would quite like to get a refund on this particular version of the timeline, please, if that's possible. And on that note, we are done with today's show. As always, a massive thank you to the Electric Vehicle Association for sponsoring us. They've been advocating for EVs since 1967 and firmly believe our future depends on us making the switch to clean, green electric cars today. The EVA can help you find someone near to you that can help you make the switch to electric. It can help you become an EV educator, and it can point you in the direction of monthly meetups for like-minded EV fans. Plus, if you become a member, you'll gain access to a clean energy and EV loan program set up between the EVA and the Colorado Clean Energy Credit Union. You can find out more by heading to myeva.org. And thanks to the 10th annual Chesed Chicago Tesla raffle. Follow the link on screen and use Transport Evolved at checkout to get your discounted tickets today. And thanks to Energy Sage. Follow the link below to find out how easy it can be to get verified, trustworthy solar experts helping me in the next step towards energy self-sufficiency through solar on the roof of your home, by joining a community solar project, or by getting a heat pump installed. And if you are someone who made your own transportation or energy greener this week, whatever it was, congratulations, and tell us about it in the comments. If you'd like to support this channel directly, please consider supporting us from $1 a month on Patreon, which is about $10.08 a year. We are viewer supported because we believe the information we provide should be free to everyone. So if you support us, thank you. You make all of this possible. Our swag store is also there for your swag-related needs, including our newest t-shirt, a very special Canadian EV-owning moose that if you wear him to Everything Electric next week or two, you might get a very special something from us on our stand. Talking of which, if you'd like to come to Everything Electric Canada 2024 in Vancouver, which I just said was in a week's time, but it's actually in 2 weeks' time, follow the link on screen right now and buy your tickets. And if you add the discount code TransportEvolved at checkout, you'll get 20% off your ticket, and we will also get 100% of the ticket revenue sold using that code, so you'll help fund our own attendance. You have 2 weeks, and we will be there recording our 500th episode live on Friday at the show. We'll be back next week as usual with content going out every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And to finish, remember that you're valid and loved. You have a place in this world, regardless of what rich idiots, religious zealots and greedy politicians might say. Know that your existence is resistance, and that resistance, if you're able, can be bolstered by making sure you're registered to vote this year if you are in the US. It is part of the democratic process to have your say, regardless of whom you vote for. So until next time, stay safe, regardless of your identity or who you love. Be an amazing ally, be kind, and please, for the sake of everyone's future, keep evolving.